Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again with a full review of the DJI Power 1000 Portable Power Station. This is a brand new product from DJI that I've been testing for the last couple of weeks that provides all the power you'll need to charge and operate your thirsty portable devices whenever you're away from home. Now, just like most products DJI releases, it's unique. It's different than all the other portable power stations on the market. They've really thought about what the market looks like and what portable power stations provide today, and they've improved on features that you won't find in other portable power stations. As a matter of fact, if you're flying a drone and you're looking for a portable power station to recharge your batteries, there isn't a model on the market that'll fast charge your Air 3, Mavic 3, and other batteries faster than this one will, and I'll explain why. But first I want to get into an unboxing because I'd like to show you everything that's included with the kit so you understand exactly what you get if you decide this power station's right for you. Then I'll give you the specifications, which is a great way to compare this against other power stations you may be considering. But I want to spend time explaining why this unit's so special, because DJI is the kind of company that when they're entering a market, they'll look at the competition and see what the products are available today offer, and then they'll say to themselves, all right, we can do better. We can change this part of it. We can make this part a little easier. Why don't we build in a feature over here that nobody's thought of before? And this unit has all of that and then some. And I'll get into that in a minute. But let's get started with the unboxing first. So when you first rip open the box, you'll find the Power 1000. Weighs about 29 pounds, which seems heavy, but it's got a lot of energy. So it may not be perfect for a short hike, but it's absolutely perfect if you're heading out for a camping trip, or you've got an RV, or you're looking for a power source at home that you can use when the power goes out. Now, I live in an area where it seems like every time a cloud goes over, we lose power at the house. So this unit's been used a lot over the last couple of weeks. When we lose power, I run into the kitchen, I plug in the refrigerator, I plug in my coffee pot, and I can still operate and charge all of my thirsty devices like phones and tablets and game consoles, and more importantly, drone batteries, so I can get back outside and start flying. So it's a great unit for that. 29 pounds, so a little bit heavy, but again, it's perfect for those longer term sojourns out in the field where you need that extra power. Also in the kit, you'll find a heavy duty AC cord for charging it. It's got a 3-prong end here you can plug into any outlet at home, and it's got a computer end here that plugs directly into the unit. Now you'll notice there's no power brick, and I'll get into that in a minute, but that's one of the advantages that DJI's built into the unit. You'll also find 3 manuals included, a quick start guide, a warranty card, and there's a safety guide in there as well, because you're dealing with big batteries, charging, discharging. So always read through these guides just so you understand exactly how to use the unit, because even though it's really simple to use and most of the features are intuitive, it's important you understand all the features that are available so you can get the best value out of the product. All right, so let me talk a little bit about the specifications. Now, power stations are rated in watt hours. This one has 1,024 watt hours of internal capacity, which can produce 1,800 watts of external charging and operating capabilities that can surge to 2,200 watts. Now, that's important because if you're using something that draws a little bit more current when you first plug it in, something like a drill or a blender or a compressor, you need to have a power station that can handle that surge, because with the drill, when you first pull the trigger on a drill, it's going to draw a lot of current to get the motor spinning, but once it's spinning, it's going to settle down a little bit to draw less current. And if you don't have a power station like this one that has that surge protection built in, you'll pop a breaker. You'll also have trouble if you're using a power saw and cutting through wood and you hit a really hard part of the wood, it's going to draw extra power and you could pop a breaker. With this one, you can draw up to 2,200 watts out of the AC combined, so you've got plenty of power to take it out in the backyard, install a fence, build a deck, take it with you on the road if you're a journeyman. So there's a lot of features like that extension of power, that surge protection, that separate this from other units that don't have that kind of surge protection. The product itself really has 3 different things you should pay attention to. The first one is, how do we charge it? How do I get energy into the batteries inside the unit? Now, most portable power stations on the market typically have an AC kit that you can use to charge it at home, maybe a DC kit you can use to charge it in your car, and a solar panel connection you can use to charge it from a solar panel when you're out there camping. You can use all 3 of these with this unit. Now, it only comes with the AC, which is the fastest way to charge the unit. And again, I'd mentioned earlier, you don't see that conversion brick, that large brick that normally comes with a power station. And that's a major advantage, because what that brick does is essentially convert the AC in your home, the 120 volts, 60 cycles AC, into DC to charge the unit. And the brick on those other power stations is wildly inefficient. You're wasting a lot of energy in that conversion process, but more importantly, it's outputting a given amount of current through that unit. which limits how fast the power station can charge. Now this unit, you're not going to believe this, but I can get it to 100% of capacity in about 70 minutes, which is amazing compared to other units of the same size that could take 2, 3, 4 hours. And if you think about that, when you're heading out on a trip in the morning, you don't want to sit there in the kitchen because you forgot to charge it the night before and wait for your power station to charge. With this one, you could pretty much plug it into a wall outlet, go get a cup of coffee, finish packing. When you come back, it's going to be fully charged and you get back out the door. So it's really, really clever. And the way it can do that is DJI's taken that external brick, which is called an inverter, and they've built it in the unit. So what they've got is a bi-directional inverter built in where I can take AC, inject it into the unit, it's converted to DC inside to charge the batteries. That same inverter, which is incredibly efficient, actually is used to convert the DC back to AC that you're going to use on the front panel. So that's the first major innovation with the product. You can also get accessories that allow you to charge this from your car, or you can charge it from a solar panel by adding an MPPT accessory. Now, you may be asking, why didn't they include all that with the unit? Well, I guess there's two ways to go there. They could have included all of that in the box, but if you're not using it, that's going to raise the cost of the product. So what they decided to do instead was to offer the unit with the AC, which is what you're going to use more often than not. And if you need those other features, you want to charge from a solar panel, you want to charge from the car, you can pick up an accessory and plug it into the unit and charge it with DC or charge it from a solar panel. So I like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the battery technology, because the one thing that separates a power station like this from other power stations on the market is the actual battery chemistry inside the unit. Now, the challenge is if you've got older battery chemistry like lithium polymer technology, it limits the number of times you can recharge those batteries. The lithium polymer technology, which you'll find at a lot of the portable power stations in the market, is really, really bad for hot weather and cold weather. It doesn't hold the charge as well. It doesn't react well to cold weather or hot weather. So it really limits where you can use it. You never want to charge it when it's really hot or really cold. The big difference, though, is lithium polymer technology has a limited number of recharge cycles available in that chemistry, which means if you're using a power station that's based on lithium polymer technology, you might get 300 or 400 charges out of it before those batteries start to decay, and that limits the amount of time you can actually use the power station. With this one, you can get well over 3,000 recharges out of the batteries because it's using the latest technology on the market for batteries. That battery, again, can be charged in about 60 minutes, and it's using the latest lithium ferrophosphate batteries, and that's the latest chemistry. Now, the advantage there is it gives you a lot more recharge cycles, like I mentioned a minute ago. It also handles hot weather and cold weather very well, so if you've got it in a camper, you're never going to have to worry if it gets really cold at night that your battery bank's not going to work. But the big difference, again, is that it's got that recharge cycle of over 3,000. It also holds onto a charge really well. So if you charge it on a Monday, and then maybe you're not leaving for the trip until Friday, you'll find that it's close, if not exactly at 100%. Whereas the lithium polymer decays over time. So you may charge it on a Monday. By the time you leave for the trip on a Saturday with a lithium polymer cell, it may be down to 80%. So you've got to top it off there in the kitchen, again, before you head out on the trip. So you can charge it a bunch of different ways. The batteries are the latest chemistry, so you've got a lot of recharge cycles out of it. And again, I can't stress how important that is, because when you think about the recharge cycles, it really limits how long this is a useful product. So having at least 3,000 recharge cycles means even if you discharged it and recharged it every day, you can do the math on that. That's well over 10 years of use. And you know you're not going to do that every day. So 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't know. The technology is probably going to radically change by the time you have to replace this unit. But I like knowing I can buy it today and have it for at least a decade, not have to worry about the battery chemistry failing on me. All right, so the last part of this is now that I've charged it either at home or in the field, I've got a fully charged battery, I put it in the back of my car and I head out there in the field with it. What can I charge with it? What kind of output does it have? Well, there's typically 3 types of output you'll want from a portable power station like this. You'll want AC, just like in your home. You'll want some sort of DC. You'll also want USB. Now, those 3 are the most common. So if you're plugging something in at home, the unit's got to have that capability. If you plug something in your car, you probably should have a way to do that with the unit as well. And then third, which is the most common way you're going to use it out in the field, is through USB. This unit has all 3 of those available. I'll start with the AC. So if you look in the front of the unit, you'll find 2 full-sized 3-prong AC outlets over there. And those AC outlets provide, again, up to 2,200 watts of pure AC out of the unit at the same time. So you can plug in multiple devices, use those devices together, and you'll also know how much current you're drawing because the display in the front gives you all the information you'll need to understand about the current status of the unit, meaning when you're charging it, you'll see what kind of current's going into the unit, you'll see what kind of current's coming out of the unit when you're using it. But either way, you've got 2 full-size 3-prong outlets on the front. Now, the reason that it's different is because a lot of the portable power stations nowadays have somehow changed to a 2-prong outlet, which seems like a small thing, but it really isn't, because if you're plugging something in that's got a 3-prong plug on the end of it, you can't plug this into a 2-prong outlet. So now you got to bring an adapter, or you got to do that horrible thing of snapping off the ground stud. I never recommend doing that, because that's going to protect you when you're out there in the wet grass. So knowing I've got a unit that's got a 3-prong outlet on the front means anything I'm using, whether it's 2-prong or 3-prong, I can plug it in and use it, and you're just fine. In addition to that, the DC on this unit isn't built in. Now, a lot of the portable power stations in the market provide a little DC circular port, just like in your car, where it's 12 volts at a certain output. This one doesn't have that. This one has these 2 SDC ports, which I'll talk about last. And that's a lot of the magic of what this product delivers. And those SDC ports can be used with a lot of different accessories. For example, you can get a charger for your car, like this one, that uses the SDC port. So if you want to charge it in your car, like I'd mentioned earlier, you can use this accessory, plug it into one of the SDC ports, which, by the way, is bi-directional, so I can charge it through that. I can also pull power out through that. And I guess I'm talking about the SDC ports now, so let me finish up on that. So the SDC ports also provide output power. So for example, there's an accessory for a Mavic 3 battery. I can plug this into one of the SDC ports, plug my Mavic 3 battery in here, and charge it directly off the unit's power inside. Now, the reason the SDC port is so important is because it's an intelligent port. SDC stands for Software Defined Charging, and that's a radically new architecture that's on the market. It really started with the EV cars that are out there. When you plug into a Tesla charger or one of the chargers at your local gas station, that charger looks at your car and says, okay, first off, I'm charging a Ford, I'm charging a Chevy, I'm charging a Tesla, so it knows the model of the car. It knows the status of the batteries inside the car, so it's already having a conversation with your vehicle, and it's going to adjust the voltage and current perfectly to quickly and safely charge that car. And during the charge cycle, it's going to vary the current, the voltage, all the things that exchange the electrons to charge those internal batteries. So software-defined charging is a brand new technology. DJI built it into this unit. No other portable power station on the market has that yet. Now, I expect you'll probably see it on some of the units coming out, but the reason that's important to you is because knowing I have 2 of those SDC ports on the Power 1000 means I can plug in 2 of these accessories, and I can quick charge my Mavic 3 batteries in less than 40 minutes. Now think about that. If I can recharge a battery in 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I can be flying with the battery. When that battery is depleted and I have to land the drone, the battery I've been charging is already fully charged. I can swap the batteries. Now let it cool down, but swap those batteries, put the drone back up and fly some more. When that's depleted, it lands, swap the battery out. So if you've got 3 batteries, you can essentially fly forever. Well, not forever, but until you run out of power in this Power 1000. So if you're a drone flyer, like I said before, there isn't a portable power station on the market that will charge your batteries quicker or more safely than this particular unit, and it's all because of those software-defined ports on the front. That software-defined charging gives this the ability to have the conversation with the controller inside the battery, whether it's a Mavic 3 or it's the Inspire 3 or the Air 3, and those 2 controllers are talking to each other, and you're getting a DC to DC charge, which is the most efficient, and it's charging it really quickly and really safely. So if you're flying a drone, again, a lot of people said, why is DJI coming out with a power station? Well, if you're flying a drone, you're probably looking for a way to quickly charge your batteries when you're out there on that beautiful afternoon having a fun day with your family flying your drone. This unit is the one you want because it quickly charges those batteries. The SDC port's important as well because it kind of future-proofs the product. And what I mean by that is it's not that hard through software to update the firmware to charge other drone batteries. Now, I don't have any insight into whether they're going to come out with chargers from the mini series or the next generation of drones they've got coming, but I got to believe that DJI is smart enough to realize once I own this product and I buy a new battery or I buy a new drone, I'm going to want a way to use that software-defined charging to charge those batteries, and I'm sure they're going to come out with adapters to do that. Now, at present, the adapters that are available, you can actually get an adapter, like I showed you a second ago, to charge the unit from your car. You can get an adapter, the MPPT adapter, which bolts on the side here, that allows you to connect it up to a solar panel, and it does the conversion from the solar panel to the right voltage and current to charge the internal batteries. That's another accessory you can get. They also have accessories that'll charge your drone batteries. It's the MT30, the Inspire 3, the Mavic 3, and the Air 3. Now this is the Mavic 3. I have an Air 3 one as well I use with the Air 3 batteries. But that's really handy because you can get the one that matches your drone and quickly charge your drone. They even make an SDC adapter that would give you that female DC port that you find in other units. And again, I know it seems like, why didn't they build that in? Honestly, I don't use that 12 volt DC port on my other portable power stations that often, so I would rather have the SDC ports than having that 12 volt dedicated port. So that's what the SDC ports will give you. Now the final thing that you can use this to charge is through the USB-C ports on the front. Now, there are two types of USB-C connections and two different types of quick charging standards for USB. Let's talk about the connections first. So the older style connection is called the USB-A connection. That's the larger one that we've used forever. So if you've got older chargers, you've got a USB-A connection on it. There are also the newer connectors, which are USB-C. That's the latest and greatest standard. It's the smallest one, and it's on most of the current products that are out there. All the drones have shifted to USB-C. Most of the phones have shifted. Tablets have shifted. Even computers have shifted at this point to USB-C. This unit provides two USB-A ports and two USB-C ports. Now I'll talk about the quick charge standards. The first one I'll talk about is quick charging, which is developed by Qualcomm, and that's available on the USB-A port. So what quick charging does is when you plug a device in one of the USB-A ports on the front, if that device is quick charge compatible, the brains inside this unit, the battery management system, will look at that product, whether it be a phone, a tablet, whatever. It'll gauge the current charge level of that product and what it's capable of charging at, voltage and current wise, and it'll adjust the voltage and current on the fly to quickly and safely charge that phone or that tablet or whatever. Now during the charging cycle, it will actually vary the voltage up and down to get that thing charged as quickly as possible. And with the USB-A ports, it's a 24 watt maximum, which means it can vary the voltage up to 12 volts at a maximum of 2 amps, which is the latest QC standard. So if you're using anything that uses the QC standard, plug it into one of the USB-A ports, you're going to charge it as fast as humanly possible. The USB-C ports use the other quick charge standard, which is called PD, or power delivery. Now, that's a more powerful charging cycle. With this unit, it actually has the latest PD capabilities on any product on the market today. So both of these USB-C ports can charge up to 140 watts against a particular item. So if you've got something bigger, like a giant tablet or a laptop, or maybe drone batteries that you'd like to charge, you can use both of these ports individually at 140 watts. And the reason it can do that is because it can vary the voltage up to 28 volts at a total of 5 amps per port. So you've got 140 watts out of each of those ports. And that's absolutely incredible when you think about it, because if you're bringing a laptop along for your camping trip, okay, you could bring the charger, plug it into one of the AC outlets and charge it like you would at home. But with this, you can leave that charger at home. You can use a USB-C cable from here to your laptop and charge it as efficiently as using that big brick that you're dragging along. So when I said that they really built in advanced functionality to the unit, when you think about it, the SDC port it's not just leading edge, it's beyond leading edge, so good on them for that. The internal inverter, which means I don't need that external brick, plus it improves the efficiency of the unit because I can charge it quicker. And then when I look at the ports on the front, the USB-A and USB-C are both using the quick charge standards and the latest versions of those, and they're high-powered ports. So when I'm out in the field, there's really nothing I can't charge off this unit quickly and safely that I could charge at home. So it's almost like I'm taking a chunk of my house with me out there in the field so I can plug things into it and get them charged. The last thing I'll mention is that there's a beautiful display in the front. I kind of mentioned that before, but that display tells you everything you'll need to know about the current state of the unit. And that's important because when you're charging it at home, you'll want to know how long it's going to take to finish the charge, what capacity the battery's at that point. When you unplug it and take it out in the field, you'll want to know how much power is left in the unit. More importantly, if I have a bunch of things plugged into it, the unit has a battery management system inside that's monitoring the batteries, monitoring the current flowing out of the unit, and it'll actually estimate how long you can use the products or how long you can charge the products that are plugged into it based on the available capacity. So the reason I think that's important is because we've been out on a couple of trips where I'm getting down to 20 or 25% of the energy inside, and I really think my cell phone matters more than my daughter's cell phone or my son's video game. So if I'm getting close on not a lot of time left on the battery, I'm unplugging all that stuff and leaving my stuff plugged in so that I get priority. So you can decide what you want to do with that, but I love the fact that I've got all the insight I need right there on that display to tell me the current status of the product. And that's pretty much all I had for today. You can tell I'm jazzed about this product. I'll be honest, I review a lot of portable power stations on the market, all the major brands that are out there. And at this point, when I got the contact from DJI that they were coming out with this Power 500 and Power 1000, I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting because it's DJI. I know they make great products. I just wonder what they could do to that to make it more interesting than the stuff that's on the market now. And boy, I'll tell you, they blew me away, especially with this SDC, because I didn't expect to see that in portable power stations for 4 or 5 years yet. I knew it would get there. I just didn't think it would get there this quickly, but here it is in the DJI product. So if you're out there looking for some way to bring power with you out in the field, to charge your drones, to charge all your portable gear, the Power 500 or the Power 1000 could very well be the perfect product for you. Now, if you have any questions at all about anything I've covered today, drop those in the comments below. I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can. I really like talking about this technology, and I hope that this clip has provided all the information you'll need to understand this product better, but I want to answer your questions, and that's the whole reason we started the channel. So if you have any questions at all, drop those below, and I'll give it back to you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We have so many clips coming on drones and power stations and a bunch of other technologies that I hope you find cool, because I love looking at new technology. And my slogan and my life's goal is that if something's running on electrons, I want to review it. So you get a lot of that good stuff here on the channel first. Anyway, that's all I had for today. So thanks an awful lot for watching. And until next time, as always, happy flying.